Gabriel best centre-back in the world? Now, his logic that he said here about why the Gabriel is the best centre-back in the world is that he scores goals and defends like his life depends on it. And obviously he mentioned that he can't wait to see Matisse and Abby cry. But is that the right criteria to be judging who the best defender in the world is, just by the fact that they defend with, gusto?
Well, I think he's got more goal contributions this season than he's conceded goals in all competitions.
Really?
Which shows he's shipped 3. Yeah, City, Newcastle, and the other game he was on the pitch for. So yeah, he conceded 3 and he's got a couple of goals,
Right, but at the same time, Harry Maguire has 3 goal involvements in 4 starts for United. I'm not then sat here going, you know what, that man has got to be up there in the best few in the world. Like, I understand that the what's the word? Like, defending with your life is it's a good trait to have, but it doesn't necessarily make you a good centre back.
Yeah, I think he's if we're talking about Gabriel Magalhaes, yeah, he goes forward and gets goals. I think one of the most.
I'm not quite sure that's the right criteria to judge the best centre back in the world, that he defends well. Because I'm sure most defenders defend with their life depends on it. Most of them do.
Not like him. He is in that kind of what I would call. And if he carries on this partnership with Saliba, if he wins a major, a Champions League, a Premier League, if he does all that, then I think them and him alone as a partnership could be in the same conversation, much different level in terms of success, how many Champions Leagues they won, as someone like a Ramos and a Varane. I think they played about 265 times together in that Real Madrid team, won loads of Champions Leagues together. But you've got Ramos as like the aggressor, the one that puts his head where it could get kicked, one that scores goals, comes up really clutch moments at both ends of the pitch. And then you had like a Varane next to him who was almost like the Rolls Royce of the partnership, aka Saliba. And again, success-wise, you can't even compare these guys right now because, they've played 228 games together, 4 Champions Leagues, 3 La Ligas. So Arsenal would need to win a trophy or something for that.
Yeah, just one
for that partnership to actually be remembered. But in terms of the stylistic stuff, they're not on the same level as Ramos and Varane yet at their peaks. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the stylistic partnership between the both has mirroring aspects to Varane and Ramos in the way that they both play.
I think all of the best centre-back partnerships in in history, across history, it's always like that. Like, I think about United, I think about Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic.
Yeah.
Those two were fantastic. You had Vidic was just he was the aggressor in that partnership.
Even like
Terry Carvalho.
Yeah. You even like Hupia and Kara. Kara was the aggressor.
Joel
and
Matip loved a
Hupia
little
would have
run
played 3 or 4 steps ahead. Even like Gomez, Van Dijk, Champions League together.
Matip loved to dribble.
Oh, do you know what? Get him back, mate. Free agent still.
Is he retired?
I think he has retired, but he's only like 33. Mate, I'd take him right now if he offered.
As a non-Arsenal fan, who do you think's the better centre-back?
34.
Out of Gabriel and Saliba? Because we debate in our fan base. I think for years it was Saliba's like unreal and Gabriel's good, and now it's kind of switched and everyone's like, oh no, Gabriel's the better one.
I think it's got to be Gabriel now because of I know I've just mentioned saying that it's not necessarily the criteria that you judge them on, but it's his impact everywhere else as well as defending. He's become, I forget that he's not your captain, is I think the biggest compliment I can give him is that he feels like he is. That's no disrespect to Odegaard and stuff.
He's he's our 4th choice captain.
I think I see him, he's like maybe a non-captain league, a part of the leadership group, etc. But I do, to answer the fan's question, personally, or his opinion, personally, if it's going on this season, at least so far, I agree.
Yeah,
I do think, I was saying this on United View earlier, I think the top 5 centre-backs, and this is me being a little bit biased, but I think top 5 centre-backs so far this season...
I'm waiting for Romero.
They've been it's the 4 North London centre-backs. Anyway, Saliba, Gabriel, Van de Ven and Romero. And then I snuck the lit in there as well, in the Premier League.
So where's Van Dijk?
I don't think Van Dijk's been top 5 this season, centre-back-wise.
I'll let you two talk that out.
Top 5 centre-backs in the Premier League this season, I don't like, based off how they've played so far this season.
So like scoring winners and stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't really, no.
Doesn't
float your boat, yeah. Last minute winner in front of the cop. Virgil.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to else who scored a last minute winner in front of the cop is Harry Maguire?
Well, it's actually the Anfield Road end, mate, so get it right.
It's in the same stadium. In your gaff. Gaff. No, I don't think Van Dijk's been top 5 this season. I think the 5 that I mentioned have been better defenders than him.
Okay.
if I was doing my top 5 this season, I'd have Gabriel, then Van Dijk, then Saliba, then Romero, then anyone.
Romero.
I've not seen much of Van de Ven this year.
I think
He's great, but I've not seen much of him.
About Senesi.
What? Yeah, I mean, other than slapping the ball away on the first game of the season, he's been all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, he's been another great shout. Yeah, I don't know.
Van Dijk's not in your top 5.
No.
Name your top 5.
This season, I named them. It's the 4 North London centre backs and De Ligt. So
So
Van de
this
Ven,
is-
Romero, Saliba. This isn't in order.
my
Saliba,
word.
Gabriel, and De Ligt.
No.
I can't wait for that clip
That's
to
how
come
I
out.
see it.
No.
Richard,
Get
No,
that
Richard,
out.
don't do it
Richard.
to me. Richard, don't do it to me.
get him.
Donald, get that out.
But obviously, there are so many. There are also so many more centre backs who have been fantastic. Like you say, Senesi. Some of the comments are also saying like Mark Gay, etc. This season, even despite the whole Liverpool drama, has been fantastic for Crystal Palace. There are definitely more. I'm not saying there are only 5 good centre backs in the league. It's just for me, when watching the games that I've watched,
Yeah.
they've been the best 5 that I've seen
Yeah.
play.
Bardistas says the famous partnership of Carragher Huppier said no one ever. Look how many trophies that partnership won, mate. Champions League, UEFA Cup, FA Cup, League Cup, Super Cup. So, yeah, it's one of them ones. A lot of trophies, 5. And
Do you reckon that's
Yeah.
one of the more underrated centre back duos of the last 20 years, 25 years? They're just kind of recency bias that people don't necessarily think about, except everyone.
there is a bit of that, but I think Sami Huppier came in for 3 mil and stayed for 10 years. It's one of the best signings in Liverpool's history in terms of value for money. It was 3 or 4 steps ahead of the game. He was the Van Dijk of that team that Liverpool had, not to the same level, but I mean, he won a lot of trophies, kept so many clean sheets for Liverpool, always loved a goal as well. I'm saying left foot volleys against Juventus, 04, 05, quarter-final Champions League, headers in Champions League quarter-finals against Arsenal. He was so underrated, and he's actually
You've had so
further-
many underrated centre backs.
further in the list than Carragher for me in terms of like actual out-and-out defenders who can read the game. Wasn't the quickest, but he's above Carragher in my rankings.
I love Dagger and Skirtle.
Agger and Skirtle were great as
They were
well.
class
Yeah.
for a bit. I
Agger,
remember,
man.
did he get a brace against Arsenal, Skirtle?
Yeah.
And then put some like headband on?
Yeah. 5-1.
Funny thing about him is
Colo Torre missed
always
from
had-
like a yard.
He always had the
Suarez
ability
missed
to
from
grow a
about
full head of
40.
hair and then never did.
Oh yeah, Suarez
Yeah.
hit like a corner on the full volley from like 30 yards and hit the bar. That was rough.
4-0 up in 20 minutes. weren't
Yeah,
they?
that was rough.
Yeah.
Arteta scored a penalty and we all went nuts.
Yeah.
Gabriel, best centre back in the world. Now, his logic that he said here about why the Gabriel is the best centre back in the world is that he scores goals and defends like his life depends on it. And obviously, you mentioned that you can't wait to see Matisse and Abbey cry. But is that the right criteria to be judging who the best defender in the world is, just by the fact that they defend with, gusto?
Well, I think
Pardon the
he's
pun.
got more goal contributions this season than he's conceded goals.